Because I think one of the conversations that would not leave the lips of many Nigerians and maybe Africans was yesterday's match. While some people are divided, others believe it was a fair game. But some of us will probably still think Africa is still being robbed in a way. But anyway, that's for another time. But of course, now to trend watch to see what's trending across the country. And this time around is the story of mining. Now, Nigerian mining marshals arrest senior police officer for allegedly helping Chinese illegal mining defendants escape. So that's the conversation. Just recently, there's been recent, I don't want to say, investigation as to the places that are being mined illegally. And of course, one time, Oshiomole came out to say this, that of course there are some people who are in the business of mining in the country illegally, and they are not even Nigerians, they are foreigners. And so there's been claims about them also giving out funding, giving out support to terrorism in the country because they make a lot of money through the mining. In fact, some of the mining process that they get done, we don't know how they get some of those things that they get from our country away from the country. But of course, there's also a way that they use to, take those things away from the country. So there's been conversations about if there is no crack in the wall, then there's no way a lizard would enter. And that's the conversation because there seems to be complicit kind of story. So there's a complicity in the way we've been running these kind of things because some people have hands in this. And Oshiomole once said it, and again, it's time to know that a police officer was also arrested for this case, and I think many other arrests should come in the next few days by God's grace.
Yeah, I think we appreciate the development, and just like you mentioned, we see the loophole, we see the lacuna, the gap, and this is not the first time that some Chinese guys will be on the news for things like this. I mean, they just come in, they do what they need to do, and they bounce. And then I can tell you for free that this is not the first time, this is not the second time, and then so that tells us that we are not doing something right. So how come we are unable to stop this, put a stop to all of this? Because I want to believe that if you issue out the right punishment to people, it serves as a deterrent to others to not say, okay, we want to do this again, because they saw what happened to people who did the same thing. So I think there should be consequences, and then the consequences should not be mild, so that it will not attract other people to say, okay, we can barb our way out of the situation. So I think the federal government, they should be on top of the matter. And there was even a time that, some of them, one person, one Chinese guy was almost killed because of this particular thing, because he was caught by Nigerians, not by the security operatives now. So we need to be more intentional and then very firm on this particular matter, basically.
Well, I think there was also a nab, they nabbed some foreigners somewhere inside the Old Oyo National Park not too long ago, and then they were said to be kingpins, drug lords and cartels, right? They were producing and doing all of those cracking for the cocaine, heroin, and all of those substances that can be abused in the country. And they said they got a lot of them and even a lot of materials there. And it was sort of like a cartel business that is running in the country without the awareness of the government. But I don't want to think there is something like that, because some people would know about this. But let's take a few comments and see what Nigerians are reacting to, especially in their reactions as to this particular story. Official Jose Blink says, now to join this Nigerian mining marshal, see as them gallant. Anyway, that's not Weirdo says, you see no outrage, Abby. Imagine our US nationals, them catch, lol.
And of course, another comment is coming from Weirdo. You see no outrage. Okay, you've mentioned that 99 Working Lord is saying Nigerians are the orchestrator of their problems. And D Bullion now, he's saying, who are we going to trust in this country? That's a very valid question, right, on that particular matter. And it's a fine place to leave the discussion this morning. Thank you for being a part of the program. My name is Olayemi Adelakon. When you see something, say something. Bye for now.
And of course, I would say, don't be complicit to crimes. Whichever way, if you see something, say something. Be a whistleblower for the progress of this country, Nigeria. My name is Anulwa Poido. Saying bye for now.